It looked as if Andrews is going to get the ball. He bowls left-arm orthodox spinners. So those are the bowling figures. Andrews now about to bowl his left-arm spinners. He's the 6th bowler to be used.
So Daniel Marsh, when he bowled in the Western Australian innings, he slowed things down for a little while when the pace bowlers had taken a bit of a pounding early on. The variation in pace slowed the Western Australian innings. Damien Martin is forced to put 5 of his fields from outside the circle, so there's plenty of singles there. Martin looking to save as many boundaries as possible.
They're taking a bit of time getting that field exactly right. Just moving the mid off a little wider, so here goes. Andrews, left arm round the wicket.
On that occasion, Nobes looking to run the ball away behind point. Almost hit it with the inside edge, pointing at the bowler. Ball just didn't come on at all.
Yes, when you get a new bowler into the attack like this, it's definitely a good idea to sort of take a few singles rather than try and get stuck into him right from the word go. Just get used to him. And the best way to do that in these matches is to just share the strike around a bit, push ones, keep scoring those 5 or 6 and over, you'll be right.
That run rate has finally slipped up above 6. South Australia have done well to keep it below 6 for this long. Wayne Andrews is a slowish left-arm orthodox spinner. And I think what Nobes in particular has got to do is get onto the back foot occasionally and try and pull him over mid-wicket. There's a big gap out there. Plenty of space.
Again, another quick single, so it's the strategy at the moment. Actually, he's bowling at a nice, tidy speed. He's dropped it right in the right spot. He's having a little bit of a giggle with Nobes there as well.
Tell you who's not giggling at the moment, the umpire, Darryl Hare, standing there on one leg for about 3 minutes, testing his balance out. Official scorers are having a bit of a doze. They haven't given him the light to recognise the signal. Now they have. Wasn't imitating David Shepherd with a score on 111.
That's a good start for Andrews, 3 for 139. Nobes 73, Brayshaw 11, 87 balls Nobes has faced. And that's the comparison after 27 overs. This is Tom Moody.
Quite often Nobes' problems have come around about now between 50 and 100. A lot of times he's played very well to the half century and then just seems to tire a little. He's certainly not looking that tidy out there at the moment. Like former South Australian wicketkeeper Gil Langley with his shirt hanging out.
It's an interesting little chop shot down towards third man. Comfortable single again. think they've probably had a little chat, these two, and they've decided that one's sort of the order of the day just a little while until they get a bad ball. Oh, he's got that one away. That is a bit short, and he likes playing that shot. It's running away down towards the boundary. Won't quite get there.
He's got an eye like a dead fish, Paul Nobes. That ball wasn't that short. That shot of Nobes brought up the 50 partnership. He made a good baseballer.
Cutting that one off. Yes, anything that's slightly short, he really does play it very well to the onside. So these two have gone past their 50 partnership now, just 69 balls to do that. Really big target they're chasing here, 280. Seven runs from the over, 3 for 146. Well, 28 overs have been bowled, but I can tell you that it's a pretty windy day down in that park today. They're going to do well to get hold all that gear together for a good photograph this afternoon. The wind is blowing down there, and the photographer's just getting his gear out. Favourite spot down there in the park for the newlyweds. Yeah. Yes, we've mentioned on a few occasions, or a couple of occasions today, that that picture of the WACA, which was put together by the Lochman brothers with their marvellous Nikon cameras and zoom lenses and all the gear, called Gone. $150, limited edition of 1,500. That's straight over the top and straight down the ground, and they'll get themselves a single. Yes, about 1,000 have been sold, so there's just 500 of those to go. This is a close-up of the picture. You can see that it features the Lily Marsh stand, and it's the wicket of Gatting, first ball, McGrath the bowler there, and every single one of the players, the Australian players, are featured in the picture, as well as the umpires. In fact, everyone on the ground is in that picture. It's very, very clear, and it's a good partner to the one that was taken at the Adelaide Oval. And all you've got to do is phone the number, and we'll send that picture out to you. It doesn't include the frame, but certainly will go very nicely in an office or any area where you're collecting some nice pictures. We haven't framed it because obviously everyone has different tastes in that regard, but it's called Gone, and it's taken at the WACA, and you will receive Gooch and Gatting's autograph with the scorecard, which will go with that photograph. That is the last ball of the over, and it also brings up the 150. Brayshaw on 14, Nobes on 81, 93 balls. Things have just slowed down a little bit here for the South Australians. 3 for 150. Tom Moody is going to continue. And diving full length to his left there. For a second I thought he'd hit that one straight into the ground, but the way Martin took off, it must have been a catch.
Very good effort there from Damien Martin.
Into the gap. They'll settle for one again.
Brayshaw smashing that one straight into the ground. That was the save from Damien Martin. Like a soccer goalie flying through the air there.
That's well bowled, right up in the block hole. That's what he's been trying to do. There's nothing much you can do about those. It's coming down from, oh, well, he's 2 meters, so you'd have to add on another foot or so.
Yes, he's got the Yorker pretty well spot on at the moment and right at the stumps. South Australia have kept that run rate above Western Australia's for pretty well all of this innings. It's just heading back to about level at the moment.
Oh, and that was hit very hard, right past the fingers of the outstretched fingers there of Tom Moody in the air. Would have done some damage to his hand, I reckon.
Well, it's 1-1 now in the shirt department. Tom Moody's got his hanging out. Looks like he's bowling too. Nobes has had his hanging out for a few overs.
Well, he's hit that in the air. There's no one back there. It's bouncing down towards the boundary. They'll come back for 2. This is not the bloke who wore thongs out to the centre at Headingley, is it? Talking about dress at the moment.
3 for 155.
The overs have been bowled. That one played away down to mid-off. Yeah, it was an interesting experience that for me, wandering out early in the morning after George Davis had dug up the pitch at Headingley. Got my shoes nicely shined up, and to arrive on the centre to look at the damage, to find the Australian captain looking just a little worse for wear. Unshaven, in his thongs. Oh, that's a full toss, and that one's gone down to deep mid-wicket. And, oh no, it's gone over the top. It's just cleared the boundary. Well, I don't know if anyone got anywhere near that one. That's actually Nobes' highest score. And there was a spectator or two down there trying to get hold of this one, but I don't think anyone got to it.
Something went flying there. I'm not sure whether it hit a cup or whether knocked something off one of the chairs. No, it's the cup gone flying. But the gentleman wasn't interested in the money. He was just interested in personal safety. Oh. I was always immaculately dressed at Australian cricket grounds, Anthony. That morning you can blame my state of dress on, I think you'd call it team harmony. I had a rather late meeting with one gentleman who needed a bit of disciplining the night before. former Western Australian who now lives in South Australia and is head coach at the academy, needed a bit of a talking to rather late in the evening.
Over the bails. Well, the question is, can they win this? Nobes is going to have to keep going. He's playing absolutely superbly. He's gone past his highest score in limited overs cricket. He's on 92 now. That's a good over for South Australia. 8 runs from it. 3 for 163. Three for 163. Nobes on 92. Going to see Tom Moody continue. Nobes is on strike at the moment. Bill Laurie and Richie Benno to take over in the commentary box.
Thank you, Tony. A great qualifying final in progress here at the WACA. Very even match. Nobes doing a great job. 92 off, 1 balls faced. One of the problems that Paul Nobes has had in the past is the fact that he just runs out a bit of a puff this stage. Not quick between the wickets, but this is his highest score. He's got a century in his sights. He's batted very intelligently. It's been a fine knock. The other end, Brayshaw, just working the ball with the singles, giving as much strike as possible to Paul Nobes. Good combination at the moment for South Australia.
Yes, it is, but I'm still not keen on that ratio of runs to balls faced, which we'll come back to in just a moment.
Out, straight down and straight. The old full toss, the Tom Moody full toss to Brayshaw, who's straight down and straight and mid-on. That's Wayne Andrews, and that's a wicket that West Australia needed. It's now 4 for 164.
It's been a struggle out there for James Brayshaw. He 16, just trying to get the ball away there wide of mid-on, more towards the mid-wicket area. Andrews took the catch. And problems now for South Australia. 4 for 164.
Centre's a touch away. Too far.
Joe Scuderi taking guard from umpire Peter Parker. Tom Moody has bowled very intelligently here, keeping the ball well up. Only picked up a wicket off a full toss, but it was a straight full toss. And James Brayshaw didn't hit it with a crossbat. He tried to hit it fairly straight. Hit it straight down the throat of Wayne Andrews. Paul Nobes, what a knock. Open the innings, South Australia were 2 for 5. He's played superbly. Full courage and determination. Offers that down to long on for single. He's a tradesman, Paul Nobes, and he works very hard at his craft. That's batting. I wouldn't say he was an athlete, and he wouldn't expect you to say that, but he has got a lot of courage. He's shown that again today. Played strokes all around the ground today. Driven well. Through. Scuderi pick up 2 more. 5 runs to the wicket off Tom Moody. It's 4 for 168. South Australia still in a hunt at the WACA. 32 overs, 4 for 168, 281 the target. Beautiful batting strip, fast outfield. Andrews doing a pretty good job with his left arm orthodox spinners. 3 overs for 14. New batsman at the crease will help Andrews. Nobes is on strike and he's on 93. He's hit that straight down the ground towards the Mercantile Mutual. That's in between the two. 160,000 goes begging and 6 more. I bet you Paul Nobes' eyes lit up then. It was on target for the one on the right, but just curved with the breeze. Split the 2.
It was too good. Perfectly straight. He wanted it just a bit crooked either way. It didn't matter which way. But that has just gone almost at the centre.
Mercantile Mutual representative will just spilled his coffee. Wayne Andrews. Slow delivery. Nobes gets 100. That's well played, Paul Nobes. Well, big shot for LB. And Peter Clark is caught for the photo. The West Australians think he's out as Nobes run out Scuderi on 99.
Well, no one in the South Australian side is going to be very pleased if that was so. The push for the 100. 100 didn't matter very much because he just hit a 6. And gone and forgotten, and no one will be very pleased about that, particularly Scuderi, who's just got his marching orders as the lights turn red.
So Nobes remains not out 99. Scuderi is running up 3, and all of a sudden the wheel has turned towards Western Australia. That's 5 for 174, and a disappointing end for Scuderi, and Paul Nobes will be terribly disappointed when he looks at that replay. 5 for 174. Big keeper batsman, Tim Nielsen. Good strike rate, 68. Hasn't had many opportunities. It's 19th match. Very handy middle order batsman. That was a big breakthrough there because Scuderi is a very handy hitter of the ball. He was run out really by his partner on that occasion. He was looking for the 100. And it was a brilliant piece of fielding, but Scuderi was well short. Damien Martin, the fieldsman. Oh, nearly bowled him first ball. Looking to cut.
Well, I think it was a very good reading of the situation. Martin reckoned that Nobes might be pushing the single for the century, and he was on his way. He was coming from cover point,
Another one? No, it's wide. Dear, oh dear, confusion. Nobes on 99. Almost a double run out.
And not only that, but the stop and the sudden turn might just have jagged the hamstring in the back of Nielsen's left leg.
Paul Nobes again on 99. This time he hits it beautifully down the long off. That's a fine 100. His first ever in this competition, made under extreme pressure.
Well, that was the way he should have pushed the single for the earlier one when he was going for the century. Just a clear shot between extra cover and the bowler.
So over bowled is 5 for 176. They just require a run of ball to win this match with 5 wickets in hand, but to 105 runs needed. Nobes 100, Nielsen on 1. Paul Nobes comes out with all guns blazing whenever he plays. He didn't let down the fans today. 8 4s, 2 6s, 8 2s and 4 3s in a total of 100. And some magnificent pull shots and drives here today. Swing and a miss. Oh, he made an edge there. That was an inside edge, and Gilchrist put it down. Yes, it was. That's the wicket they needed, Western Australia. Going for the drive. Moody got the ball to cut back, and the wicketkeeper made a meal of it. Adam Gilchrist. Sure, it was inside edge, but he snatched at it, and Nobes picks up an extra run. The first chance by Paul Nobes on 100.
They need a bit of good fortune like that, but might have been bottom edge. There's nothing all that difficult about it. Almost as though he didn't close his gloves as he was going across.
It's a good shot. The gap. Nielsen, good back foot player. They should run 4. Or run. And South Australia refused to lie down in this qualifying final. Give them with a chance. They've got 5 wickets in hand. They need 100 runs exactly to win.
Can certainly be done. It's a question of the wickets in hand. You have Nielsen on 5. Nobes 101. We're into the 34th over. They can certainly do it. They just need to keep wickets in hand, and the double problem is they've got to keep that run rate up. Got to be taking 5 or 6 off every over.
Tom Moody's been very impressive. I think he's been the best of the Western Australian bowlers. He's used his experience, keeping the ball well up. Rarely been short, just been pulled once or twice, but bowled the in-swinging Yorker, angled into the right-handed batsman. Under the circumstances on this pitch, they are very good figures. Well bowled. 5 at the over, 5 for 181. Big target, 281 for victory, but South Australia having a red hot go at the WACA, 5 for 181 after 34 overs. Nobes and Siddons were the guys that lifted the run rate. It's down to long off. Nielsen's quick, he worked for 2. Hits his out, that's out, surely a direct hit. I think he's gone, Nielsen. But the player's saying safe close to the wicket, so maybe he just made his ground at the end. Because he's quick and turned very quickly for the second.
Direct hit is always very difficult for the batsman, but he was really moving, Nielsen. And he's okay.
Should be a green light. That was well in. Very good piece of fielding, but beautifully run by Nielsen. Grounding the bat. Not out. Great piece of work in the deep, but good running as well. The pressure's going to build for South Australia. They need to run a ball with the 5 wickets in hand. I think if Nielsen can keep the run rate up, get the strike to Nobes, who's hit 2 sixes already, that's what they need to do. It's chipped beautifully into the mid-wicket region. Brendan Julian, quick, and he knocks it into the gutter. So the pressure just building. He had that covered and made a mess of it.
Well, he did have it covered. He kicked it twice. Once with his left foot, once with his right. And he's only going to be half popular with his skipper and the bowler.
Gets another chance, but it's much straighter. He seemed to be a bit casual in the end. He had it well covered. Every run so important now. That was a bonus 2 there for Nobes. Normally a very good fieldsman, Brendan Julian. Nobes 108, Nielsen on 5.
Still to come for South Australia. We've got Nielsen, Nobes in there at the moment, then Marsh, George, Wigney and Wilson. So really Daniel Marsh is the last of the batsmen.
9 runs off the over. A good one for South Australia. They're in the fight here at the WACA. 5 for 190.
The order
Run a ball. That's what's needed by South Australia to win this game. As Moody takes up the attack again from the river end after the drinks break. Nobes on 109, Nielsen 6. It's a wonderful effort by South Australia, 5 for 190 after 36 overs. South Australia got away to a terrible start when the man of the series, Darren Weeman, was out in the very first over when facing Bruce Reid. Weeman scored 300s in this series so far and been easily the best batsman in the series. Good shot, but just the single. It was Bruce Reid with a little bit of experience in outswing that picked up the dangerous Weeman. Well caught by Gilchrist in the first over.
It was a real thrashing shot, one that Lehman gets away with on many occasions. That time it was just a thick edge. It was quite a good catch by Gilchrist. He had to get across a long way, not quite in front of first slip, but crossed around about that spot.
Next over was Webber. Wilson was a bowler and Valletta took a gem. He was trying to work that to the onside. He was out for duck and it was 2 for 5 and West Australia were well on top. And a magnificent partnership between Siddons and Nobes lifted the score to 94 before Siddons went to the well just once too often. It was 46. Got to hit it down the ground, maybe cramp for room there. And Damien Martin took the well-judged catch. It was then 3 for 94. Safe. A little bit of outside edge there. That's good running. No backing up at the non-striker's end. And then James Bashaw, who struggled a bit for 16. All singles. Finally got a full toss. And he hammered it straight down the throat of Andrews at mid-on. He was out for 16 on 39 balls. It was 4 for 164. He hits, it's got to be out surely. He is out this time. He doesn't even ground the bat. Andrews again, the veteran, back in this side. Makes a direct hit. Nielsen run out for 9 at 6 for 195.
Now, why on earth would you go for a single there on a really hard hit ball to a fellow who throws left hand? And you've hit it onto his left hand. There it goes. Andrews just comes in a few yards. It had to hit for him to be out, but not a problem there. No problem for the umpire, only for the batsman. Nielsen has gone, and that was a real sacrifice when none was necessary. 6 for 195.
That up. Let's run around. Daniel Master, new batsman. He's going to face Bruce Reid back into the attack. Reid, 6 overs, 1 for 20 in his first spell. The wicket of Lehman for 2. Nielsen looked in very good touch. Really committed suicide there, looking for a single. And Wayne Andrews, been around a long time, didn't make a mistake. Direct hit him quickly, nicely balanced, and whack. Nielsen's well out. Marsh off the mark. Can Nobes get South Australia up? I guess that's the question, with support from Marsh, George, Wigney and Wilson. Marsh is a good hitter of the ball. Nobes is calling for the helmet. It's a bit of a surprise. On 111.
Also on the WACA pitch. I guess that's what regulates all those things these days. Get used to having a helmet on. Bruce Reid coming back for a second spell. Six overs, 1 for 20, Bruce Reid in his first spell. It was nice to see him back. It's not the Bruce Reid we knew a few years ago, but just to get on the park is a tremendous achievement after all the injuries he's had and all the disappointments.
Well bowled. Change of pace there. Not sure why Reid would be around the wicket to the new batsman, Daniel Marsh, but there's no slip in. There's 5 men inside the circle. Backward point. Cover. Mid-off. And a man at mid-on and mid-wicket. So Martin not giving him an easy single as Marsh tries to get adjusted to this pitch. And a very good white here today. That vision shows a very flat, hard WACA pitch. Beautiful for batting today. It's been a credit to the ground staff. The outfield fast. David Crane and his staff have done a wonderful job. Nicely bowled, a little bit extra bounce there. Marsh onto the back foot, trying to work it square. Every dot ball makes it a lot harder for South Australia. I guess the key there's the 4 wickets. Run and ball certainly not impossible if you've got wickets in hand. Swing and a miss. 2 off the over from Reid at 6 for 197. A good qualifying final here at the WACA in Perth. Nobes, the star for South Australia, is on 112. It's Moody for the Western Warriors. Right arm over the wicket. Nobes batting very sensibly, getting tired, as you would expect it. 50 overs in the field and then to open the innings. Batting very sensibly. Nice little edge from Marsh, that'll be 4. Players coming around and doesn't get it. Valuable runs, a valuable stroke. Sensible batting. Moody's been hard to get away. Just a bit of width brings up to 200 for South Australia. Great fight.
That's a good neat stroke. It wasn't just a nick. He got it away pretty much off the face of the bat. Knew there was no slip there. Gilchrist is covering wicket-keeper and first slip, but had no chance there.
It's well bowled. A little quicker, a bit sharp, a bit of upcut there. Tom Moody, a very good cricketer. He's a good fieldsman, good hitter of the ball, and a very handy seamer, trying to get the ball to cut back from off to leg there.
The county team with which Moody plays in England, Worcestershire, think so much of him as a limited overs player. They open the batting and the bowling with him these days, and he had a terrific summer over there last time.
He was a cool-headed young man. He's a very nice guy as well. but he's determined and got a lot of experience now playing for Australia, West Australia and county cricket as well for Worcester.
Moody put Worcestershire into the final of the big limited overs competition in England last year by making 180 in the game against Surrey, and then he took the most spectacular catch. Joey Benjamin, who was out touring with the England side, smashed one out through mid-off, would have been the winning runs, and Moody was the only man in the field tall enough to catch it, which he did.
Full toss straight to Andrews, 6 for 202.
Over.
Six for 202 after 38 overs. Bruce Reid continues around the wicket to Paul Nobes. Thrashes that through cover. That could be four. The man's coming around from one off. He may get to it. He does, knocks it back. They run three as Tony Greg and Bruce Yardley take up the commentary.
Thank you, Bill. Well, you never know, do you? At 2 for 5, chasing 280. I said, well, sillier things have happened. Some wonderful positive batting by both Siddons and Nobes. Saw them on the way, and they're still going. 76 from 71 balls remaining. 4 wickets in hand. That could be the problem.
Yep.
I think Nobes has dropped a stone in this innings. And I can tell you that he looks absolutely exhausted now. The question is, can he gather himself here and keep going? He's going to have to. He is exhausted.
Yeah, this is where you've got to be very strong-willed. I never reached this stage very often. At the times in club cricket, that was a bit about it to get to 100. Look at that, 116 from 118 balls, a strike rate of 98. 2 wonderful innings, one from Damien Martin. There's Andrews again. He's loving his comeback match. Wayne Andrews, he's got a bowl. He can get a bat. Big it in a run out. And there it is. It's pretty even, isn't it? It's just that South Australia, the Blue Dots, have lost a few more wickets. So they're still on track. They just can't afford to lose Nobes.
Yes, the youngster is just collecting his ball, just holding the proceedings up here for a little while he gets back to the serious stuff over there in that little area which is being set up for the barbecue later this evening, where the players are going to meet the public. And I tell you what, that's pretty serious stuff going on out there. That 4 test matches taking place. And the bowlers obviously bowled downhill here. The wickets are pretty big, those big green bins. Oh, that's well bowled. That was very close. Ooh, that must have gone straight over the top of the stumps.
He's looked pretty good, Bruce Reid. He always makes bowling look fairly easy. That is just a magnificent delivery. Angled in from around the wicket, just so that he can't give the batsman too much room. It's hit. And just missed everything. The bowl, Bruce Reid. It's 6 for 207. 74 required from 66 balls, not an impossible task. 4 wickets in hand, it's pretty tight. Tom Moody's coming in to commence his last over. He's bowled 9 for 40.
Yes, just getting back to those kids there, some pretty serious test matches going on down there. You can see the stumps just behind just behind the boundary fence there.
Is he going to go back for second? Not quite.
Yes, well, the bowlers are coming out down that direction there, and you can see the fielders just encroach upon the batters as the balls let go. There's a set of stumps there. He's got a forward short leg in position. Pretty wide open spaces through the covers.
His eyes lit up then, Paul Nobes, for that shorter delivery, but it was a slower ball from Tom Moody. Had to wait. Oh, that's a good shot. It's got through the infield. It could go for 4. Lavender's around. It's gone for 4. Well, if you hit him hard enough.
Yes, Tom Moody's not very happy about that. And it really did travel. That outfield's very quick. And you can see here the fieldsman's never going to quite make it. Did he get a hand to it? Yeah, probably just got a hand to it. It bobbed up over the top of his outstretched hand. But lovely timing that from Nobes. He's now moved on to 122.
What an innings. 10 4s and 2 6s. Well bowled, but he'll still get a single. He's dug it out. Best place to bowl is the Yorker length, and they're after you. Wayne Andrews again, 6 for 214. That's the difference, 6 down for 214 compared to 2 for 205 after 40 overs. The fine leg's been brought up fairly short, so if Reed strays down leg side and a fine tickle, it'll go for 4. But I can't see Bruce Reed straying down leg side. He's too good for that. Now, they should look for 2.
Yes, they being the operative word. I think that Marsh definitely was looking for 2. I think that Nobes decided that he couldn't make it. And the best way to pass that message back is to just keep your back faced firmly down the pitch, and he just kept walking in the other direction. I think he's getting a bit tired now. Well, that's what's required. 66 runs of 59 balls, so it's still in the ballpark.
Trying to angle the ball down through the gully area behind point, Daniel Marsh. And he's only ever going to get a single down there. Maybe if he thinks about hitting through the cover area, threw mid off. He might just pick up 2 rather than a single. It's the old story, I think, against good bowling. If you think you're going square of the wicket all the time, you can get yourself into trouble. You're going to miss out on the one that's straight sometimes. Beautiful spell of bowling from Bruce Reid, though. Into his 9th over, and he's got 1 for 28. Ah, he's gone over the top. That's a good shot. Is that over the? That's over the fence. That's a big hit from Daniel Marsh. That's 6.
Well, that's a magnificent hit. Just for a second, I thought that it was just lobbing over the inside field there, and it just kept going and going. He's obviously a strong boy, like his dad, and this really was a big hit. He got underneath it. It's a quick delivery, and have a look at that one go high, and it just kept going and going and going, and there it is, about 10 or 12 rows back.
If he caught that man in the red and white shirt, he would have picked up $900 for the first catch by the crowd for the day. Well, that's a pretty handy over so far. 9 runs from the first 5 balls. Let's have a look at this guy, see if he gets a hand of this. Not quite, didn't judge it quite well enough, I don't think. Where is he? Straight through the hands. Just dropped $900. Well, a good over for South Australia. 10 from that, 6 for 224. $57 required from 54 deliveries. Maybe if they had 2 more wickets in hand, they'd say, well, we probably should bolt this in. Paul Nobes knows that he can't relax for one moment. He's got to concentrate. Bill Laurie has often said about Paul Nobes, he doesn't look pretty, but he watches the ball, wants the ball. Possibly just missing leg.
Yes, he was forward. It's quite close to the stumps, but that one just dipped back a little bit, and you could see that his front leg was really just covering middle of the leg. A lot depends on Marsh here. They have a slightly more attacking feel to him.
Yeah, that's well bowled. You're better off bowling full tosses than those little balls short of a length that the batsman can get under. Especially Daniel Marsh, who likes to use his bottom hand and loft the ball.
Just watch this. He dropped it there, and the old bloke says, now listen, son, this is the way you got to do it. Get your hands together, for goodness sake, you know. Well, that's worth $900. There we are, that's it. Get your hands together and just lean forward and catch it. Silly idiot.
Nobes on strike. An early breakthrough. Got rid of Darren Webber. Yeah, he looks like he just hasn't got the same strength in those forearms. I see him shaking his right hand there, Paul Nobes. Sometimes the cramp can set in. 56 from 50, 56 from 49 deliveries. Shot down the ground, should just be the single. Yeah, fumble. That's why you've always got to run the first one hard and put pressure on the fieldsman. Sean Carey down there, the end of the over, 6 for 227. Yeah, well, he's got that through the gap. He'll pick up 2 here. Now, what Daniel Marsh has got to decide here, he hit Bruce Reid for a big 6 last over. The men are out on the fence out there now, long on and long off. It's okay if he hits it as far as he hit that last ball. Into the crowd, the big 6. But in pushing them out, he can pick up 2s. So he's got to be smart here. Australian Institute of Sport, the Academy, played England in a couple of one-dayers early on the season, and he won the game, Daniel Marsh, by hitting 2 big 6s of Angus Fraser to win the match. Hasn't batted much. Didn't play against Victoria. 19 not out today. Oh, that's a good hit. He hits them hard and he split the field. We'll go for 4. That's the 2. Beautiful field. That's Justin Langer down there.
Listen, that's Marsh's best score in one-day cricket. Have a look at this, straight through the legs of the bowler down the other end. He almost took that right leg out of the way slightly there, that right shin, should I say. Can't blame him for that. And that one's picked up down there. Western Australians converging it from all directions.
Yeah, he doesn't have to do that, does he, Tony? He's trying to get that little fine glide down to third man or past the slips.
Yes, it's very much an outshot. One almost feels as if he should develop perhaps a little bit of just a controlled cut, rather, as opposed to just opening the face of the bat and trying to run it down there. He hasn't got... I think he may have got hold of 1.
Wonderful cricket match. The pitch has been a beauty. That's the key to this match. It hasn't changed all day. It didn't move off the seam early in the day. Nice and dry, lovely white colour, good one-day cricket pitch. Fast outfield, lots of runs. It's 5 off that. It's 6 for 232. .49 required now from 42 balls remaining. Still got those 4 wickets in hand, as long as Nobes can hang around. Daniel Marsh can hit a few 6s. You never know. Oh, he's got a single.
Yes, apart from the little cut shot he plays, the other shot he plays very well is he hits them back very straight. They're always somewhere around the stumps down the other end. You can see there again the face of the bat. And he's saying, wait, it's quite right. And as it goes past the fieldsman, he then says, yes, now we can come one.
Yeah, sensible bowling. Keep the ball up.
He's going to have to start pushing himself a bit, Nobes, even if it's just to come back a few yards for the second, because Marsh is running back a few yards. It'll just get a bit of panic sitting into the fieldsman, and those extra runs could be so valuable at the end of this innings.
Good shot. That could be through. Carey's after it. Kept it to 2.
He's hit this one pretty well too. He's got a lovely cover drive, so things are getting pretty close here. That's well fielded. Made sure he dragged that one back. He was not going to let that one go through. So Marsh on strike again.
Oh, an easy. Oh, that could go for 4. That's the big chalk. Bruce Reid struggled to pick that one up. So they're doing it well. They've got to make sure they score off every ball. If they can't get it through the field, they've got to pick up a single.
Yes, Bruce Reid won't want to see this replay. He was all over this ball. Watch him there. Down he goes, way before it got to him, and his hands went right over the top of it. Well, with 6 down, they're getting closer and closer. And they're doing it at the runner ball, so there's nothing in it at the moment.
From 37. Well, that's a good over. That's 8 from that. It's 6 for 240.
Over.
Six for 240, chasing 281 to win. Nobes 128 from 130, and Daniel Marsh doing a terrific job, 28 from 33 deliveries. Bruce Reid has finished his 10-over spell. He took 1 for 42. Brendan Julian's coming back. He's got 3 overs to go to complete his spell. He's so far bowled 7 overs and got 1 for 40. Coulson's got 1 for 50 from 7. Fairly expensive. He got a bit of stick early. Carey 5 for 27. There's Julian 7 for 40.
Well, there we are, 40 runs off 35, fast outfield. The bowlers are tiring, mind you, so is Nobes. He's got 128. Marsh is looking really good on 28. So, looks as if we're going to have a good finish here.
Now, Brendan Julian, so how did that miss? Coming around the wicket, angling into the right-hander. So another look. It's actually missed by a long way. It's a good example of how much angle is created by the left-hander coming around the wicket. Between bat pad and down through the leg stump. Fast leg stump. So 4 men inside the circle. It's compulsory. They don't need dot balls, the South Australians. Daniel Marsh, the man at long on, is quite wide. So if he hits it fairly straight over mid-on, he's fairly safe. There he goes, he's going for it again. Is that out of the park? It could be. It's out of the park. Another drop catch. Another 900 gone.
Can't believe it. I tell you what, he'll get a rollicking from that bloke down there. He will. they keep getting it in that area down there, and they keep dropping it. Well, there he is, the guy with the blue shirt and the dark glasses on. He's the chap holding his hands. But what a shot this is from Daniel Marsh. He's got underneath it. He has got some power. He's heaved that one over the long-on boundary.
Oh, sensible batting.
Yes, there it is. It just kept going. There they all are gathering. They all want the 900 bucks, and whack into his hands, and over the back she goes again. Well, Viv Richards in the background there, just hovering.
The coaching from his mate didn't help much. Wide. Yeah, that's a fair call.
Yes, he just sounded as if he might have nicked that one, but he actually flicked the pitch. Just watch this one, very wide. Nobes going after it, and he just hits the pitch there as it goes through to the keeper. Made a little bit of a noise, but the umpire's arms are out straight away.
Nobes on strike. Damien Martin, you don't risk his good arm. It's 6 for 249. What a match. 32 from 30 balls now. Daniel Marsh is on strike. He's on 35. He's hit a couple of big sixes. He's got a shorter boundary this end.
Yes, he's played a little gem of an innings, actually. And just when it was needed too, because Nobes was very definitely getting tired. He's come to a grinding halt in terms of what he was doing by comparison with what happened before. And Marsh has taken the running. 38 balls for his 35. Nobes 128 has given a lot of the strike to him.
Now he'll go for two, and he'll do it easily, even though Tom Moody's onto it. Will run.
Marsh has made 37 in the partnership, and Nobes has made 17, which is some idea. And there's been 2 extras, so he's going really well.
All bowled, but they picked up the single. That's what they need. They've got to score from every ball. Get a single from most of them, and then occasionally there's going to be a boundary. It usually happens.
And I suspect the Victorians are getting a little nervous about this. That's well fielded. Yes, Bill Laurie is in the background here, has been saying go the South Australians. They're obviously very nervous about playing the Western Australians, having lost 19 and won 3 to them over the years. Well, the Victoria will be wanting South Australia to win this match.
Oh, well bowled. Look at that. Right up in the block hole. Very hard to hit that over the fence. Well bowled, Craig Coulson, 6 for 252. That delivery. 29 required, and to see it through. The commentators are now Ian Chappell and Richie Bennett.
Thanks very much, Bruce. South Australia have put up a terrific, well, it's not a fight, a terrific chase. When you think of the original asking rate at 5.62 per over, it's a lot to maintain for 50 overs. Timed the ball pretty well throughout this innings, Daniel Marsh. Took 2 sixes. And he has a bit of a history of 6 hitting. As was mentioned earlier, he hit Angus Fraser for consecutive 6s to win the match for the Academy at North Sydney Oval. Wonder where he got that from, Rich?
Could be hereditary. Could be just from watching various players around the world. I can tell you, it's very, very effective. That's a good shot. He's a lovely clean hitter of the ball. And with the fact that he bowls quite decent left arm orthodox spin, and he's got a good throwing arm, he's shaping up pretty well. But a good clean striker of the ball.
Yes, it's been not only some good hitting, but some intelligent cricket out there. Paul Nobes has done well. He's paced himself well. Daniel Marsh, as well as hitting the 6s, he's kept control. Really only tried to hit 6s when he's hitting downwind. And right throughout this innings, South Australia have kept above the white line. Oh, that's beautifully played. Won't quite get to the boundary, but good placement. It's a long throw. Lavender hasn't got a strong arm, but there is a relay man in position.
There's a little tension getting into the game out there for the WA players. They would have reckoned they had the ability to take wickets and keep the runs down. Nobes has been not only the highest scorer, but the stumbling block because he's stayed there. Been able to control things pretty much as he's wanted.
And he'll retain the strike. It's 6 for 260. Three overs to go, 21 runs required for victory, and a spot in the final against Victoria. Western Australia need 4 wickets. They certainly need a wicket to get a new batsman out there, and certainly a lesser batsman. Carey is at long on.
Real danger spot out there for WA. The man who's come up into...
That's beautifully hit and reaching the boundary. Just what South Australia needed at that stage. That's beautiful batting.
It was a lovely shot. He's played those lofted strokes on either side of the wicket. That's, again, a lovely clean hit, and it's good sensible stuff. It's not just a wild slog. He chose the ball, got himself in a position to angle it away on the offside. Good Yorker. Now, that fielder I was talking about, Bruce Reid, has come up into the circle at fine leg. That's the man there. And that is a real danger. So far, Coulson's managed to keep the ball round about off stump. He's only got to slant it a little bit, and anything either side of Reid will be 4 runs.
So 15 runs required now. Balls to be bowled. You'd have to say now the batting side are favourites.
Well, they are, if those are the tactics to keep bowling full tosses. The time must arrive in a moment or two where Martin will have to take a gamble and bring his men up to stop the singles. Try to force the batsman to hit over the top.
Marsh retains the strike on this occasion. It's 268. Well, Damien Martin is not putting Fieldsman in a position to save the single. I think that now is the time he's got to do it, take a bit of a punt. It's just now 12 off 11 balls, and South Australia can do it comfortably. They've got to put an extra man in there to save the single. Daniel Marsh with an excellent 50.
That's a very good innings. Seen some good batting here today. To a century from Damien Martin, and lovely innings from Mark Lavender. Century from Paul Nobes, and now a half century from Daniel Marsh. And he's taken only 49 balls at a crucial time in this preliminary final.
Carey is at third man. Martin's got all of his men inside the circle. They're all quite deep. Not one of them really can save a single unless the ball is smashed straight at him. Somehow or other, he's got to get a couple of dot balls in this over. In fact, Wayne Andrews asking if he should be in to save the single.
Brendan Julian's shaking his head out there, but it's not a head-shaking moment. It should be a moment of fierce concentration. Every ball that's been bowled so far in this over has been bowled in such a position it can be hit down the ground, and the singles are available. Now, Martin really needs to bring his men in, otherwise they'll just pick him off and they'll get there with a couple of balls to spare. It's 10 from 9 balls at the moment. That should be the basis of the tactics. No, nothing is changing as we look at it.
Once again, the easy single, and Julian waving his arms around. I think he's definitely asking the skipper for some help in saving a single.
Well, Martin will be working on the basis that he'll try to close it down in the last over, but that may be a horse's bolted job. Now, just a little bit late, I'm afraid. Should have happened 4 balls ago that the men were coming inside the circle. There are 2 of them coming in now, the man from long off and long on, and the saving of the single will be paramount. The risk is that the batsman will hit over the top, but you've got to try and buy one here.
Not sure they'll save a single anyhow where they are.
No better example of what Ian Chappell said than the fact that the man brought into the circle remained out on the extremity of it.
In fact, now Damien Martin has decided to send the 2 men back, and he'll have to bring fine leg up because they've only got 3 inside the circle now. Obviously they're worried about Daniel Marsh's strength down the ground. I think the plan was to try and save the single with Nobes on strike. Big shout, but there was no edge there. It's 6 for 273. Well, that's what South Australia need. 8 runs to win the game. If the match is finishes in a tie, then Western Australia will go through because they finished with the better net run rate in the qualifying matches. In fact, that's why the final was held here in Perth, because of that superior net run rate. And that was the advantage to Western Australia there. You see it 0.22 as against 0.03. Both teams finishing on 6 points. That's well bowled, but they still get the single. Now, I think, is when Damien Martin's got to gamble here a little bit. He knows that Nobes isn't as strong a driver down the ground as Daniel Marsh. I think he's got to try and save a single. He's got Nobes on strike. Maybe you bring up the mid-off and put him in a position to save the single. None of the fieldsmen who are, none of the 4 are in a position really to save the single. They're all pretty deep. That's extremely well hit, beautifully hit, and he's found the boundary. So now it swings very much in South Australia's favour.
What a shot. He's played some great shots today, Paul Nobes, but that was absolutely brilliant. The footwork and the timing and, above all, the placement, got it between mid-off and extra cover. That was great to watch. And it's 3 from 4 balls now, down below the number of balls remaining.
Now all the fieldsmen are coming in. none of them right in close. You've got to have at least a couple way in close there to save those singles.
I'd even settle in this situation for one standing about 3 yards away from the batsman, so that the one hitting the pads and falling down can't produce a single. 3 balls to go, 2 runs needed.
That's very well bowled. The bowler wasn't going really to throw the ball there. He realised that if he got a ricochet without the run out, then there might be a couple of runs which gives the game away.
Tough moment for the bowler.
Got away from the wicket-keeper, and I'll get back for a second. So South Australia have got there off the second last ball. Daniel Marsh with a big smile on his face, and Paul Nobes, and he deserves that big hug because he's played a brilliant innings for South Australia, remaining 140 not out, and not surprisingly he's the man of the match. Daniel Marsh on 55, and they took the score from 6 for 185 up to the winning total of 6 for 281.
Wonderful game of cricket, superb performance from Paul Nobes, lovely partnership there between Nobes and Daniel Marsh, but a super game of cricket, this Mercantile Mutual preliminary final. And South Australia now go through to play Victoria Sunday the 5th of March. Check your local guides for television times and tickets at Bass. It's been a terrific game here. Brilliant to watch. At the moment in the WACA, it's goodbye.
This has been another presentation from Nine's Wide World of Sports.